What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I'm talking about Darius Slay, and he doesn't seem to be happy at all. I have to share this with you guys. Let's get it started. So as most people know, Quandre Diggs was traded to the Seattle Seahawks, and Darius Slay was not happy at all, okay? He went off on Twitter and he said something that is a little not for kids, and I'm not going to say it on here either, but he said basically that's some bull, okay? He's not happy about the move at all, and I thought, that was just one of those things that, like, okay, he's upset that his friend's gone, but he seems to be a lot more mad than that, and this is not really a good look right now for what's going on here. Not for Darius Slay, or not for the Lions. I'm saying it's not like a really good look for us, because what I'm seeing here is necessarily this does not look good for us as fans, okay? If you like Darius Slay. Now, Darius Slay is one of my favorite players I've ever seen with the Detroit Lions. Darius Slay is one of the most recognized players on the Detroit Lions, right? You think of the quarterback always first because that's what you think of on every team. If I named random teams, if I said Texans, who would you name? You'd name Deshaun Watson because he's their quarterback. But then you think, who's next? Well, a lot of people think of Big Play Slay, and he's one of those guys, and I would hate to lose this guy, okay? He has, like, the most swagger on this team. He's, like, the most unique kind of player, and, he's not afraid to talk and say his feelings, apparently, because he kind of went off when he was asked about this trade, and it's kind of making me nervous, I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying anything's going to happen, but it's not making me feel very easy, okay? And I know someone said a theory that, hey, okay, maybe Quandre Diggs said something to the Lions, like a change, and they decided to ship him out because of that. I hope that was not the case. I hope it was a decision that was like, okay, this will better our team so we can make another move. I don't necessarily know. I just know a lot of people are unhappy with it. But basically, Darius Slay was asked a lot of questions. I want to read through these with you guys. This is an article by mlive.com, so shout out to them. But let's get it started, okay? So basically, he says, I'm here to play ball. It don't matter if I'm here or not. That's not what I want to do. I just want to play ball. So he said basically there, I don't care where I'm at. I just want to play football. Okay, that's all right. All right. We read a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, I just see as there's no loyalty to nothing. Okay. He said, no matter how much you put in, they feel like it's always a little different. They can get rid of you. I just play ball. So he's basically saying, look, there's no loyalty because the fact is this, no matter what happens, they can just get rid of me whenever because there's no loyalty. And if they don't feel a certain way, they're just going to get rid of you. That's how Darius Slay feels right now. And I kind of feel his pain. I mean, that's how sports are right now. And I think football is one of those sports that's American football. I think American football is one of those sports that's not as much like basketball. Like basketball it is hard to find loyal players in the NBA. And I know that, sometimes when they trade them, they can't do anything about it. But there's other times where it's like, okay, they're just leaving. They just want to chase rings. Okay, there's a handful of players that are actually loyal. I'm not going to get into it, but you know what I'm talking about. And the NFL is not necessarily like that in my eyes because it's kind of like, okay, usually you keep your players for a long time. But Darius Slay is basically saying, hey, it's not loyal here either. So Slay went off and he said, everywhere, he said, that's everywhere. Just like we seen with Earl Thomas. That's everywhere. I ain't just here. He said, that's how business is. It's a business. That's all I preached to as a young when I first got into the league. I'm sure Quandre was preached that too by his brother. It's just a business. And obviously that hurts for us because as fans, we don't want to look at it as business. We look at it, hey, this is our team. And when Darius Slay says this, it doesn't make us feel good. So the question here was asked, why wouldn't you care if you were traded out Detroit? Okay, I skipped the question. So basically, he asked about his chance of being traded out Detroit. And, this is what he says. He says, anybody can get traded, but I personally wouldn't care. He says, my personal feeling, like I said, it's a business. I wouldn't care. It is what it is. Go on about the next day. And that's the truth. But it's kind of sad because for me, as a big Darius Slay fan and as a Lions fan, that's not what I want to hear. That's not what I want to hear. One of our best players, one of my favorite players. I don't want to hear this. Okay, and obviously he's going to have a payday coming up. Snacks Harrison, he got some money. But Darius Slay still is waiting on that payday. So maybe he's a little upset about that. And that could come into this. And then the Quandre Diggs thing happened. I don't know what his future looks like. But I never really had this a question. I never really thought it was a question mark. Like, hey, what's going on with Darius Slay? Is there a chance he moved on from him? That was never something that ever came up. And now hearing this, this just hurts me. Next question was, why wouldn't you care if you were traded out of Detroit? Good question. Let's hear what he has to say. He says, I'm just saying the business part of it. They just doing that. Just say that it don't matter. They're making choices up there in the front office. So you just got to live with it and deal with it. And again, that's not something I want to hear, and there's no way in heck I want to see the Detroit Lions trade him. I know someone in the comments is like, hey, man, if they do this, I'm going to the Pistons. I got you on that one. Now, look, he also says this. Are there any fears about getting traded? Bad word, no. He says, that's the last thing I'm worried about. I don't give a dang. Honestly, I don't. So, like I said, I just work. Doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm here. If I'm somewhere else, I just go to work. Man, I don't want to see you get traded. And it's kind of unfortunate that you hear this because, yes, it's a business. But at the same time, some players like to be in a certain place. They're like, oh, man, I love it here. That's not what it sounds like. And this Quandre Diggs trade may have led to a little bit more that maybe the Lions weren't expecting. I'm curious to see how this plays out, but I also want to see how it play out the right way because I don't want to see this happen. So Slay is frustrated, kind of worried about it a little bit. And he basically says, it got nothing to do with on the field, Slay said. I'm a dog. I just go play ball. That's not going to affect nothing on the field. It'll just affect the relationship in the locker room, the communication. I probably got communication a lot different with folks. And Quandre had stuff going on. Just like I had with Glover Quinn. How he understood me or how I play. How to play his game for me. Now I just build a relationship with other young guys. Figure out how we are going to connect all the pieces together. So this is not something that I love to see. Not something I love to hear at all. And I hope that Slay's not gone. But I can understand his frustration, honestly. This is your best friend. I mean, if this is one of his big friends, you got to think about it. Quandre Diggs was blindsided. He wasn't expecting this to happen. And obviously, they had the control to just say, look, we're going to move you. And you can't do much about it. And obviously, if that's your best friend, you're like, man, that's my guy. And you're just going to trade him? Where's the loyalty in that? Okay, and I understand. Quandre Diggs has been here for multiple years. He's done a lot of good things. He hasn't been the best. But if we're being honest, right now, this is something I read, our starters as a whole haven't all been that great. So I'm not just going to say that, hey, Quandre Diggs hasn't been great. But this is something I don't like to see. I hope he doesn't get traded. Okay, he's definitely one of my favorite players the Lions have. And this just worries me a little bit. I don't know how you guys feel. But if you guys want to have any comments, just comment below. Basically says, I ain't talking to neither one of them about it. Slay said, that's their problem. I'm working. That's all I do, work. It's not no kind of relationship or nothing like that. Just I'm here. I work here. It's my job. I got to do my job. So take that however you want to. I don't think it's a great look. It's kind of unfortunate to hear, and I hope nothing happens to him. But again, I understand his frustration. So comment below, leave your thoughts. I just want to get that out to you guys so you guys can understand what's really going on. Thank you, Pop, for watching, and I'm out.